Had I had a mentor, I might have saved a couple of years for myself. Like, say for example, if you're learning driving, so I give you the keys of the car, and you like start experimenting. Then you might be able to learn driving, but it will take a lot of time. But if you're learning from a mentor, then you might be able to learn driving in say a week or 10 days or 15 days. So that is where mentors come into play. You follow one good source of current affairs. It can be Civilsdaily. It can be any other magazine which you find comfortable. Follow one magazine, and most likely the annual edition, and that is it. Your scores, your rank or your selection or non-selection is decided based on mains. So this exam is not an exam of objective questions. It's an exam of subjective writing. So these questions are going to come in the exam, and you can answer well. But in UPSC, that does not happen. UPSC does not set papers based on what books have you read, what notes have you made, what materials have you read. ठीक है? तो you have to do reverse engineering here. The interview is not going to decide whether you are going to get into the final list or not. It might just ensure that you get a rank higher or lower, but selection or non-selection is entirely based on mains. I am as normal person as you, as human as you can think. I don't think I studied more than 4 hours. Like, my capacity is 4 hours in a day. No matter how hard I try, no matter if I get locked in a room for 24 hours, I won't be able to study for beyond 4 hours. I am a fan of YouTube. I am a fan of Instagram Reels. I kept using everything. I had friends. मेरा social circle बहुत complete था. I still during the preparation phase में memes भेजता था अपने friends को. Like, don't get into that trap. तुमको जितना पढ़ना है, as long as you are able to study those 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever you want to, with complete focus, then the rest of the 16, 15 hours of the day, whatever you are doing, that does not matter at all. For the GS4, I'll say that I entirely made GS4 notes from ChatGPT this year.
I started my full-fledged preparation after I joined the Ultimate Assessment Program at Civilsdaily.
There is a 12-month strategy which I have done on Civilsdaily platform only.
I reached out to the Civilsdaily team.
Civilsdaily. Current affairs में Civilsdaily.
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 With Civilsdaily.
Civilsdaily.
Civilsdaily IAS. Civilsdaily. To Civilsdaily. Civilsdaily.
Civilsdaily.
Civilsdaily. Civilsdaily.
Civilsdaily.
A mentorship program of Civilsdaily, and that did help me a lot.
So I hope your preparation is going in the right direction, guys. And to give shape to your direction in more better way, we have a very special guest today, Hement. I know that all of you know that he has secured All India rank 13 in UPSC 2024. But I would like all of you to know like few more things about him, especially his academic qualification. So he has done his graduation in geography from Jamia Millia Islamia and then masters in geography from JNU. And he's also gold medalist from JNU. And currently he's also pursuing his PhD from Jamia Millia Islamia. And he's also NET JRF qualified in geography. And he has written so many articles in reputed journals, as well as he has also written his own book, which is available. So now this was his academic journey. Apart from his academic journey, he also masters in, cracking the competitive examination. So I'll just list few. So he in 68th BPSC, he secured rank 23 and he was also served as an election officer. And in 2022 in UPPSC, he secured All India rank 47 and was given the post of DSP. And in 2023 again in UPPSC, he secured All India rank 9 and this time he was given the post of SDM. And currently he's working as a SDM in Mirzapur, Uttar Pradesh. And all these achievements, guys, just at the age of 27. Definitely he masters the art of cracking examination. और हेमंत के लिए मैं बस 2 लाइन बोलना चाहूंगी because he is also, he excels in Urdu poetry. So I would like to say कि चिरागों का कोई अपना मकान नहीं होता, वो जहां भी जाते हैं अपनी रोशनी खुद फैलाते हैं. So again, very warm welcome to Hement. Welcome Hement here. So thank you so much for joining us despite
Thank you very much.
Despite having busy schedule, like he is joining from academy right now. So Hement, I would like to ask few questions. So we'll follow like this. Initially, I'll ask some questions, and then later on, we'll have interactive session where students or the aspirants will be asking questions from you, right? So my first question to you would be, what was your mechanism to figure out like what to focus on and where am I going wrong in this entire preparation? So what is the main point which you would like to highlight here?
So actually, this was my 4th attempt, and in the previous 3 attempts, I could not even get past the prelims. So, and my last prelims attempt was way back in 2021. So there I realized that there were some errors in my preparation. My preparation was not up to the mark, and that is why I was not able to beat the competition. So then I took a 2 year gap, and then I prepared for other services and all. And then last year I gave the UPSC exam finally, and by that time, luckily, I was able to identify that what my mistakes were. So like my biggest learning has been that if there is no proper guidance, if you are doing it by yourself, then you have to learn by mistakes and keep working hard.
Okay. So, what was your optional, Hemant?
Just geography.
Geography. So, like, what would you like to suggest? Like, if we are selecting our optional, so what are the things that aspirants should keep in their mind while selecting their optional?
So everybody, like a lot of toppers have already said this, that when you are choosing your optional, either go for a subject in which you have already have studied UG or PG. And firstly, I would like to say that all subjects are equally worth it. All subjects are equally good if you have prepared well. Go for a subject in which you can go into an in-depth reading and understanding, and which does not bore you.
Okay, so is it important that or like whatever you had in your graduation or masters, like you should go for that subject, or like you can select any subject of your interest, or should a student go for like those subjects which are more scoring in nature?
See, scoring comes from your ability to write the answers.
Hmm.
Subjects inherently do not become scoring if do not write good answers.
True.
So, of course, if you have a subject which you did in your UG or PG, so then that helps because you already have 3 or 4 years or 5 years of reading in that subject. So that helps in the preparation. But even if you do not have that subject, then you'll have to put in an extra efforts. But still, like if you prepare well, if you write the answers well, then any option is very good.
Okay. Okay. So now here again, I would like to ask one more question. So what is your understanding of this examination, and what were your methods? And would you like to specifically, like, did you follow something, or like would you like to highlight something? Like, how do you understand this examination well? Because you said that initially third prelims you failed, but this was the first mains and this was the first interview as well. So you cracked it thoroughly. So, like, how did you understand this examination so well? What are these main points that you would like to highlight?
See, the first barrier in this exam is prelims. And prelims is the most random part of the exam, is the most unpredictable part of the exam. So the first thing that you have to do is prepare well for prelims. And for that, you will have to use these strategies and do some smart study. Because a basic thing that you have to realize is that more studying does not means that you compete well or you get good marks. You have to do smart work. And then after prelims, and finally, like the most fundamental thing that one has to remember is your scores, your rank or your selection or non-selection is decided based on mains. So this exam is not an exam of objective questions, it's an exam of subjective writing. So you have to focus on your answer writings. Mains, I think, has a weightage of around 85-86% in the total marking scheme of the final mark sheet. So no matter how good you are at prelims, unless and until you are good at mains, at answer writing, you will not be able to get into the final list. So
Okay.
for that, writing is very important.
Okay. So Hemant, I would like you to like further detail us about your preparation methodologies, specifically which you followed for prelims, for mains, and for interview. So first, we'll start with the prelims. Like, what did you identify where you lagged? Because already you have cracked so many examination, it means that you have already studied all the basic parts. So where it was lacking, especially in UPSC. So first we'll talk about that, and then we'll proceed to mains.
So I like to highlight three things here. The first is that to understand, to ace the UPSC exam, you have to go through the UPSC papers. The best source for UPSC prelims is UPSC previous year questions, and anybody preparing for prelims has to compulsorily go uh, through the UPSC prelims papers at least since 2010, and
Okay.
do it 4 times, 5 times, or 6 times. Secondly, you have to realize that answering prelims questions is not a test of your knowledge. It's a test of strategy. How well are you able to identify these strategies? How well are you able to eliminate the options? Because the core thing that you have to understand is कि तुम यूपीएससी से compete नहीं कर सकते हो in terms of knowledge. Every year some random topic is going to come, and most random topics are going to come every year. You cannot expect to read 100% and memorize 100% of the entire syllabus. So devise strategies, learn option elimination, learn how do you get to the right answer. Like there are certain strategies in option elimination. So the first is like go through the previous year questions. Second is devise your strategies, do smart work. And third is like keep your sources limited, and don't just like my very fundamental advice would be that don't feel that you have not prepared well just because you have not read or thoroughly memorized all the books. Preparation never gets complete.
And for mains, like what would you like to suggest to the aspirant? Like how should they focus? How should they prepare for GS1, GS2, GS3, and GS4?
Is the way एक चीज that I'll give you a perspective change, a paradigm change. The thing is that when students who are starting to prepare or who are like a couple of years into preparing for UPSC, they are into this college or school mindset that school may the way we prepare for board exams, that this is the syllabus, these are the questions that are going to come. So if you read these books, so these questions are going to come in the exam and you can answer well. But in UPSC, that does not happen. UPSC does not set papers based on what books have you read, what notes have you made, what materials have you read. ठीक है? So you have to do reverse engineering here. You do not have to follow syllabus to test, syllabus to paper. You have to go from paper to syllabus, from the UPSC exam paper to syllabus. So you have to study in reverse. And
Okay.
that is also with mains. When you see the mains paper, you can identify there are important themes, whether in GS 1, 2, 3,
True.
or in optional. So
True.
identify the themes. And for mains, what you have to do is, like I got very good advices from my friends, which was like, "Ki don't just finishing the papers ensures that you stand strong in the examination. So don't leave any question. Try to write in points." And a good point that my friend told was like, the number of points marks a question carries, try to write as many points or try to break into as many sections as you can the answer.
Okay.
And the third is that try to stick to the demand of the question
Okay.
and explain it well. See, the fundamental of this exam is that you have to write well. Unless and until you write well, you are not going to get through.
So, like, what were your resources? Like, from where you were reading, like for current affairs and everything. So, from where you prepared?
See, there are multiple sources like uh, but I'll not like but I'll not burden the students. I'll say any sources that you are reading are very good. Any book that teaches you history or polity or geography or any subject is good. Just stick to it. Whatever book feels good for you is goes well. So I think I'll skip this part of recommending any current affairs. But like all students do, I read the PT 365 and the standard books which everybody reads, like Lakshmikant for polity and say Spectrum for modern history, NCRT for geography. These are like the very bread and butter sources. Those are the only that I followed.
Okay. And what about the interview part, Hemant? Like, what was your strategy for preparation of interview? Because I think interview also carries a very important part in the entire preparation. So, did you do any special thing or anything like that?
Even for the interview, I did not give any marks. Uh, for the interview, what you have to understand is that if you are clear about your thinking, if you are clear in your thoughts, if you are able to articulate well, and if you are able to listen patiently and answer patiently, then that is enough.
Okay. So, like,
And
for
also that interview sometimes becomes hyped too much. But if you see the entire marking scheme, interview carries almost a weightage of like say around 15%.
okay.
So the first thing that you have to focus is mains. Once you get through mains, then you focus on the interview. Interview is not going to decide whether you are going to get into the final list or not. It might just ensure that you get a rank higher or lower, but selection or non-selection is entirely based on mains.
Okay. Right. So, okay, Hemant, I think lots of questions are coming from students. They are very much interested in asking questions from you. So, okay, my last question to you would be like, you are presently a SDM of Mirzapur. So, did that help you in your preparation? Like, how it helped actually in this entire process?
Yeah, so exactly, I was in training during this phase, this entire cycle, 2024 cycle. I was
Hmm.
in training phase. So, like during training, there is comparatively there are fewer responsibilities, so I could make time for studies. And the thing is that when there is a deadline in focus, so then you are able to study well. If the
Yeah,
exam is two
that's
years after, if you are preparing for exam cycle in 2027, you won't be able to focus now. But if the exam is say 1 month or 2 months later, then you will be focused. So the thing is that I was in training the entire time, and like after joining the services, I got 2 months to prepare for prelims and nearly 3 months for mains. So that is the whole time what I prepared, and like in the end, after the results, I got a month for interview. So that is what I had, and I think like my seniors in the district, they were helpful. They ensured that I was not overburdened with responsibilities. So that kind of helped.
okay. Nice. So I think students, aspirants, you want to ask questions from Hemant, you can ask your questions. One by one, we'll be taking questions. Yeah, you
And
can.
and one and I'd like to highlight a thing more, that all the people who are present here, I'd like to tell them that I am as normal person as you, as human as you can think. I don't think I studied more than 4 hours. Like my capacity is 4 hours in a day. No matter how hard I try, no matter if I get locked in a room for 24 hours, I won't be able to study for beyond 4 hours. I used I am a fan of YouTube. I am a fan of Instagram Reels. I kept using everything. I had friends. मेरा social circle बहुत complete था. I still during the preparation phase में memes भेजता था अपने friends को. Like don't get into that trap. तुमको जितना पढ़ना है, as long as you are able to study those 4, 5, 6 hours, whatever you want to, with complete focus, then the rest of the 16, 15 hours of the day, whatever you are doing, that does not matter at all. I knew my limit was 4 hours, so I never studied beyond that.
Wow, nice. So yeah, so here you are also breaking a myth that कि पूरे 15-16 घंटे की पढ़ाई चाहिए होती है. So it's important that
Hmm.
how much you are studying, right?
Hmm.
आप कितने
Hmm.
focus से उस time में कितना पढ़ पा रहे हो, that becomes very important. And at the same time, it is important कि आप कितना ज्यादा पढ़ रहे हो ये important नहीं है. What you are
Hmm.
studying right, whether you are studying
Hmm.
right or not, that is very
See,
important.
maximum concentration span you need in UPSC is 3 hours at a stretch. मेंस के टाइम पे उससे ज्यादा तुमको यूपीएससी के लिए एक सिटिंग में कभी नहीं बैठना पड़ेगा. Even if you are sitting 3 hours continuously, that is enough.
Yeah. So yes, now we can take questions.
Yeah, students,
And
raise your hand. I'll unmute you and you can ask your question. Yes, Savita.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
hello, hello.
Sir, I'm from Tamil Nadu, and I was working after my graduation for 8 years actually in Bosch and Caterpillar. So then I left my job and I was preparing. I'm preparing actually from last year, sir. I took foundation course and all, and I'm married and I have one daughter. And staying away to for the study, and I'm at my age of 30 now. So I'm so serious about 2026 exams, sir. Would you give any tips and to follow for the complete 1 year, upcoming 1 year, so that I can easily clear the exam?
See, like whatever advices are required or you need have already been said by the numerous toppers that have preceded me. So also like go to a couple of toppers, like listen some topper talks. You will get things about the content and strategy very well. See, given that you have a busy schedule and busy time, I would like to just give one advice that on average, try to sit through 3 or 4 hours a day. I can completely understand that in your circumstances you might not be able to sit for 3 or 4 hours every day due to your family life and all. But try to average it out in a month or a week. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if you are sitting
Got it,
just
sir.
3 or 4 hours every day, that is more than enough.
Mm.
But try to like follow it judiciously and completely.
Sure, sir. And sir, during my GS foundation course. No, I couldn't able to complete all the standard books completely and all. So now I have planned, and how much time would it take to complete one round of study all GS subjects from your experience?
See, as a beginner, you take time. Like if you are just starting to prepare for UPSC, it might take you nearly like 3 to 4 months of reading the first standard book of every subject. But your aim should be like after every iteration, that time should be reduced,
Mhm.
and lastly, you should be able to come down to say like 10 days, 10 days for the entire all the subjects. So every cycle
Okay.
that you read, every cycle of sub books that you read, that time has to go down. So for the first time you read, you might be able to complete all the books in 3 months, but then like reduce it to 2 months, then 1 month, and ultimately get it down to 10 days.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And the more you read, the more you realize that what things are important, what things have
Mm.
to be read, what things have to be skipped. For say like Lakshmikant has around 80 chapters, I think. But the important
Yeah.
ones are but the important ones are only like 40-45 chapters.
Okay,
So you
sir.
have to focus down on that, and that is when you like study the previous year questions with complete focus, then you will realize that what are the important topics, and those are the most productive topics. Those are the ones you have to focus on, and those are the ones that will give you the optimum results.
Yeah, you can ask your questions in the chat box. Okay. How to analyze PYQs, and please elaborate on prelim strategy.
To analyze the PYQs, I'll say like school wala mindset. So like don't get into the school wala mindset that you got a question and you have to answer it. I'll say first go through the questions from 2010 to the last year and just try to read the questions. And each and every term in each single PYQ of your prelims is very important. Read the questions very thoroughly. Try to see like what are the recurring patterns, what are the recurring topics, because they will be asked multiple times. For example, like I found a simple trick that if in the option there is the answer of Akbar or Ashoka or Vijayanagar, most likely that is to be the right answer. But this, when you have studied the previous year questions many times. So don't just see a question and try to answer it. First, try to understand what the question is. And for the strategies, I'll say like I even did like just a year ago. I was also like you guys. I was also preparing. So I utilized YouTube. There are many brilliant teachers. There are many good channels. Even I don't know the names. From wherever I could get good videos, good strategies, I used to study and apply them. So utilize YouTube. I think most of you must have YouTube. So उसको utilize करो. I'll not tell any strategies here.
Yeah. So, sir, how did you make mains notes theme wise, covering maximum dimensions?
Oh, notes proper I only have for my optional, and that also because I just aggregated all the notes from my UG and PG. I don't have any notes for the GS 1, 2, 3, and for 4 I for the GS 4 I'll say that I entirely made GS 4 notes from ChatGPT this year. And if you like, I'll share it also. But that's 100% from ChatGPT, nothing else, and some Google search for my by myself. For GS 1, 2, 3, like Mains 365 is a good source, and read the static books, and see the exam is not going to ask question from your notes, and when you are writing the answers, your notes are only a tool, but that is not going to help you unless like the topics are clear here. So that's the biggest tool you have, your mind, and the ultimate aim is not to make good notes. The ultimate aim is to be in a position, be so mains ready in the exam that no matter what question you get, you are able to write 2 or 3 pages on it. Even if you have to write something for a false story, or you have to just go around the beating around the bush, but you have to be so mains ready that you can write 10 points on any topic, any random topic that is given.
Yeah. So for those who have started now for 2026, is it possible?
It is definitely possible.
Regarding mains preparations, like I have gone through first reading of syllabus appearing for now. What should be my
Yes.
approach? I'm not focusing on current affairs as of now. So from now onwards, how should I approach this exam? What about answer writing
Are you
practice
preparing for this year?
for 2026?
Okay, for 20. So if you're preparing, so first of all, prepare like you still have time, so get done with GS4 and the couple of optional papers that you are going to have. Once those notes are well made, then GS1 to 3 is basically like the prelims and mains parts overlaps. So you don't have to worry much. And jo bhi, whatever the recent mains or PT 365 is, you read that, you are updated, you can go and write.
Okay, so do
And
we
and don't get too bogged down by the process. The thing is, like if one thing you have to take from this session, it is like this is not an exam. This is a game. Okay. In school examinations, when you sit down for the exam, everybody who is sitting, like say if you remember your class 10 exams, nearly everybody who took the exam got through. Sab pass ho gaye. Everybody like got passing marks. But this is not the exam of passing. This is a competition. This is a game. You have to beat your opponent. You have to beat your competition. So that is why you have to make strategies. You don't have to be a good student. You have to be a smart student.
do we really need a mentor or can we manage it by ourselves?
Uh, like if I look in retrospect, then I think that had I had a mentor, I might have saved a couple of years for myself. Like say for example, if you are learning driving, so I give you the keys of the car, and you like start experimenting. Then you might be able to learn driving, but it will take a lot of time. But if you are learning from a mentor, then you might be able to learn driving in say a week or 10 days or 15 days. So that is where mentors come into play. But it is good, like it is important to have a good mentor, somebody who knows the process, who can guide you well through the process.
Yeah. Okay. So, sir, were your mains ready before prelims, and can UPSC or UPPCS be prepared together? Any role of mentorship?
Exactly. Like I did not have a mentor, that is why I think like it took me 4 attempts to get through. You can prepare for all the civil services simultaneously. I did. I prepared for civil services of 3 states. I got through in all of three, and also this UPSC. So, like 4 exams, I prepared simultaneously. And if you have a good mentor, that's good. For the state civil services, like you should not waste time. Basically, it is like catching a fish. So keep throwing your net, and the thing is like you have to catch the first fish, whatever it comes. पहले एक नौकरी मिले, उसके बाद दूसरी तीसरी जो भी मिलती रहे. ठीक है. So when you are preparing for state civil services, as far as I have seen, I think I have experience of 5 6 state civil services exams. So the competition there is relatively less tough. So even if you like sit concentrated a month prior to the exam, you will be able to crack it.
Yeah, so I have completed my coaching, Yeah, I'm doing my coaching and completed two of the subjects. Subjects are going simultaneously. As a beginner, I study, I revise my class notes and classes, but don't remember things. How to boost the memorization power?
You don't need to have memorization power. You don't need to depend on anyone. There are enough resources on the internet. There are enough resources on YouTube, on Telegram. Use them. The thing is that you have to depend on yourself, and memorization is not important. That is what I told you. You have to prepare strategies. Okay. When you are seeing questions of economics, when you are seeing certain type of questions, for example, there is a rule that if in a sentence there are two international organizations that are given, the statement is going to be wrong. If there is a definition or a number in the sentence in prelims questions, if a statement has any number, that is definitely going to be like most likely to be wrong. So these are the strategies you have to prepare. You cannot go on memorizing, because you cannot beat UPSC in terms of knowledge. You just have to have a good strategy to get through the competition. Am I clear?
So, sir, how to maintain consistency when you find any concepts hard? Because finding
Consistency नहीं आएगी. Consistency, don't run after consistency. You won't have it. You have to follow the law of averages. Say if you have target, like I'll suggest, like nobody should have a target of more than 5 hours a day. Okay. And you won't be able to sit for 5 hours a day consistently for even for a week or month. So the thing is, like if you are sitting 8 hours one day, then you might be able to sit only 3 hours the next. But try to maintain consistency in the average over a long term, so that when you sum up the hours you set for exams over a fortnight or over a month, then you have like 4 into 30 or 120 hours in a month, or 130 hours in a month. You cannot do it every day. I also could not do it.
okay. So one of the student is asking, like, should I go for a coaching or should I take one-on-one mentorship? How to
Whatever suits you. Like first you have to assess yourself. Coaching is helpful if you are not well acquainted with the subjects. So then that helps in teaching you the basic concepts of economy and polity and history. But if you are well read, at least you have a basic understanding of these subjects. Then, like having a mentor helps, because you will have personalized strategies, and the mentor will help you identify your policies and your errors.
how to put check on revision? Very hard to maintain alongside new subject. What should be the
I could not get that question.
yeah, like what should be the strategy for the revision?
Keep doing the revision. That is the only strategy.
Okay. So daily newspaper reading is essential.
Not at all. The newspaper का बस एक ही काम है इस एग्जाम में. The only purpose that newspaper serves is to give you articulation skills. Because when you are well read, because in a newspaper you are able to study information from economy, from polity, sometimes from history, from geography. So when you are well read about these subjects, so then you are able to think and write well. But directly there is no relation. It is like you might be seeing or playing cricket. So if you are fit, then that helps in prolonging your career, in enhancing your performance. But there have been cricketers who are not fit and still they can play well. So that is the thing, that it helps, but it is not necessary.
Okay. So what is the importance of current affairs for in prelims?
It is of secondary importance. Don't be very bogged down. Don't be very burdened by current affairs. First thing you have to focus is on the static, on the standard books. And after that, just ensure that you follow one good source of current affairs. It can be PT 365, it can be Civils Daily, it can be any other magazine which you find comfortable. Follow one magazine and most likely the annual edition, and that is it.
Yeah, okay. So, sir, what are the mistakes to avoid in this exam?
There is no clear answer to it. Like, I am too less of a person to answer it. It is like saying that why does a team lose cricket match? There is no one answer.
Same questions related to consistency. So, can you share
You
few?
you are not going to get consistent. Even like the last time that I was preparing for prelims, the 15 days before prelims, I like to tell a personal story. 15 days before the prelims, my training, the first phase of training was coming to end. So like there was a lot of party and the farewell meetings and all, and even I was traveling for nearly a week before prelims. So I was very uh, like I had lost my energy during that phase, but still like I was able to get through. Because see, don't run after things that are very utopian. Consistency is a very utopian concept. Don't run after it. जिस दिन mood है अच्छा पढ़ने का, you read 10 hours. Sometimes the mood is not going to be good. Sometimes you're not going to feel energetic. Then even 2 hours are good. Or even not reading some days is good. Question muted है.
Sorry, yeah. Again, so a few of the students are asking about the resources you followed. So, can you share your resources?
I will share like mine are very bread and butter resources. Like everybody has nearly the same resources. But I'll do one thing, that I'll list the the preference order in which you should revise for the exams. Like first of all, you should study polity. then economy, then environment, then geography, then history, then art and culture and current affairs. In this order, try to revise. That is the most optimum order.
Okay, so there was a question related to 2026 exam. So what should be the strategy for next 1 year?
Strategy is to revise the previous year questions, follow the limited sources, and revise. Keep revising them. Do not take too much of pressure. And also, like, there is no perfect strategy. The perfect When you have the results with you, that is the only perfect strategy.
Okay, current affairs strategy.
I told that just take any source. It can be a daily news source or a monthly or an annual news source. And then, like, just to stick to one source, revise it a couple of times. That's it, because not a lot of questions are asked from current affairs.
Someone wants to know about your preparation time, like for 2024 attempt.
See, I will be honest, I had been preparing since 2019-20. I could not get passed through prelims in first three attempts. So, like, it was not like I just prepared in few months. I had 5 years of prior reading and studying. So 2024 was the culmination of all those efforts. So there was nothing special or different that I did. It's just that I kept learning from my mistakes. There was no different strategy that I made this time.
Okay, so there's a question related to the geography optional. Like, should we take this subject as an optional? How much time it will take to prepare?
Geography optional is a little dicey in the sense that it is very wide. Questions can be asked from nearly all aspects of your general studies, from culture to sociology to uh, demography to even semi-engineering concepts, technical concepts. So if you have a prior reading of geography, then that is good. If you have studied in your college or PG, then that is good. If you have not, then you might consider other options. But if you come to geography, if you select geography, then you'll have to ensure that you do a very wide reading. You have to cite scholars and like put in a lot of efforts because the scope is very wide.
Okay, so someone is asking about the order of the subjects, like, which subject we should finish first.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is a polity, economy, environment, then geography, history, art and culture, and current affairs. I miss like polity, economy, environment. उसके बाद science and tech. And science and tech only from current, nothing else.
All right. I think we are done with the question. So any book for economy?
I personally followed Mrunal's handouts. Like people also follow his videos. I preferred reading the handouts, and that was it. Like it's a very a long source. It's I think around 1,000-1,200 pages. So that is like exhaustive for UPSC prelims and mains also.
Okay. One more question. Should we prepare PYQ notes each and every?
No, why? Like get out of this school mentality that you have to prepare notes. You are playing a game. Whether you write or whether you learn or whether you keep it in your mind, the aim is to get through the every stage of exam. This is not your school that you have to maintain a notebook and write notes. If it works for you, then that's good. If it does not, then throw away the notes.
Yeah, I think we are done with the questions.
Okay.
And thank you, Hemant sir, for joining the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Quite
much.
interactive. And once again, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hemant, for joining us. Like, despite
Thank you,
having busy schedule, you joined us. So
thank
thank
you,
you
thank
so
you.
much. So I think now the questions,
Yeah,
we
I
take
take
some
many
questions.
questions.
Yeah. So you can leave, Hemant.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone who joined this.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.